Hi everybody, I'm Gwendolyn Sterk of Sterk Family Law, and I have the privilege to be with Anna Minkina today. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you for having me.
Anna has been a consultant and part of our resource center for many, many years in the area of medical insurance.
Yes.
And that is really your specialty. That's what you deal with.
Yes.
So you're able to service our employees. They can meet with you free of charge.
Correct.
And how are you paid?
I'm paid by the different carriers in that. There's no additional charge for the plans and no charge for my consultation.
So it's really just a net gain. Anybody can obtain information by consulting with you.
Absolutely.
And that's why we encourage our clients to go out and get this information, because there's no cost to you whatsoever to learn and to become educated. Now, following a divorce, there's really 6 ways that you can have insurance available to you following the termination of your rights under your spouse's plan, correct? The first one really is COBRA. Can you tell everybody what COBRA is?
COBRA is a continuation of your spouse's employer plan, and so they can have that, but it's an additional cost. It's not what their spouse is paying for the plan, it's what the employer is paying for the plan, and an additional administration fee.
And that can be for what period of time?
36 months.
And so that's a very costly, and there's very strict rules, correct, about notification, making sure that you file and get that continuation coverage in place.
Correct.
Now, there's also in Illinois, the second option would affect those who are over the age of 55, correct? And that's under the Spousal Health Insurance Rights Act in Illinois.
Correct.
And if you're over 55, what can you do to have continuation coverage until you get Medicare eligible, so more than 36 months?
So the employer, there's a number of rules. One is that have to be over 55. It's got to be an Illinois-based plan, and it can't be a self-insured plan.
Right, and sometimes that's difficult. As attorneys, we have tried to get that share information, especially for someone who might have a disability. They might be age 56, and we want to have that covered until 65 rather than going on Medicare, so there might be some good reasons to get that plan. But sometimes that self-insurance label is hard to find, right?
Correct.
Because
really is.
Sometimes you can still have like a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, but they're self-insured.
Correct.
And so really subpoenaing the information and making sure that you meet the qualifications is key.
Correct.
Now, SHIRA used to be a lot more important before we had the elimination of pre-existing conditions, correct?
Correct.
And so now, if you have a medical condition, you can still enter into 2 then public type options. First one, people often ask, what's the marketplace? Can you tell us about that?
Marketplace is a plan that you would go into if you have you can do it special enrollment, which a divorce is special enrollment, and that's where you would go to get your health insurance, and you qualify for a subsidy. So you help paying your premium based on income.
Now, in terms of that income, if you're receiving maintenance, formerly known as alimony, does that count as income?
Yes, it does.
And if you're receiving child support, does that also count as income?
Yes, it does.
And that would have to be something you'd have to annually renew for as well.
Correct.
So that might be an option available to someone. So let's go next to the next plan, is if you're not able marketplace eligible, you could look for then a private plan. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can you explain that process to individuals?
Private insurance is with private insurance companies, the Blue Crosses and that, and you would look at, what we do is we look at the plan that best meets your needs, because Blue Cross, as we know it before with the private insurance, you thought that it would cover everyone. So now what you have to do is we look at the individual's needs and see what network and what doctors and hospitals that they go to. So it's not as easy as people thought before, where you could, just pick a plan. Now we need to sit down and find out what their needs are.
Now, as I understand it, private insurance is no longer nationwide.
No.
And so if you have a group plan, you could get sick in California if you live in Illinois, and you'd be covered in California, right?
Right.
And if you have an individual plan, that's no longer the case.
No, it's got to be life-threatening loss of limb, as they say. It's got to be a true emergency.
Wow. So that's really an interesting thing and a basis for someone to really try to get onto a group plan.
Sure.
Now, those premiums can be based upon whether or not you get bronze, right?
Correct.
Tell us the different levels there.
So there's 4 levels: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Bronze is the highest deductible, lowest monthly premium. Then silver, the deductible goes down, but the premium goes up. And then gold and platinum, you have really low deductibles. Most people are silver.
Okay. And give us the range of cost depending on age.
Depending on age, it can be anywhere. So the gold and the platinum are the highest cost, but that's like you have a deductible of like $500. The only reason people go on that is because they're going to have some kind of a surgery or something, and they know they're going to meet the out-of-pocket and the deductible. But the cost range, let's just say it can range, depending on age, For a bronze plan, they could pay $400. For a gold or platinum, they're like $800 or $900. So
and that's the lowest age. And then, for example, a bronze plan, if you're older, could be up to $800 a month, right?
It could be, yeah. It could be $600-$800, and it goes up. Depends on your age. Yeah.
And every year you can renew that plan, correct?
Correct.
During that open enrollment period.
Correct.
Now, the divorce would be a triggering factor for you to have 60 days to get on one of those plans as
Correct.
well. Okay, so now that's our fourth option. Our fifth option is really what we would call a temporary plan. Tell us about that.
They're short-term plans, and it's just temporary. They don't cover pre-existing conditions, but sometimes I have families that are moving, so they just need something interim. Maybe I need it for 3 or 4 months, because in Illinois you can only have it for 6 months right now. So they want something. The only key on that one is it does not cover any pre-existing conditions.
And that would be something that somebody getting a divorce, that would be a qualifying event.
Correct.
And if they're going to a new job and maybe there's a waiting period, that
Correct.
might be an option for them to do that short-term plan.
Correct.
And the last sixth option is really what we call a concierge plan. Can you tell us about that?
So concierge is really not an insurance plan. It's what a lot of people are doing now when they have a high deductible plan and then they have the concierge plan, because the high deductible plans, you really have to meet that deductible to get all the services. You have a lot of co-pays and plans that way. But sometimes, young families and that, because they're at the doctor so often, they'll do a concierge plan where they'll pay a certain amount per month, and that gives them access to the doctor on a continuous basis.
So then you pay a monthly amount, and then
Correct.
you're able to go to that doctor as many times.
Correct.
And then the doctor also can service under a concierge plan by giving you lower rates, for example, on prescriptions or on medical testing. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then based upon the age, that individual doctor will set what that monthly premium is going to be. Is that correct?
Correct. That's a doctor concierge, but that's in addition to the insurance.
Right. It is an option, though, because you are no longer required by federal law to have insurance, correct?
Correct.
So perhaps maybe the seventh item is really going concierge only, but that comes with a danger.
It comes with a big danger.
And
Absolutely.
the big danger is that if you have a major medical situation, then you don't have any insurance coverage.
Correct.
So you can do two options, the concierge with a high deductible plan,
Correct.
or concierge alone.
Correct.
So these are all the options that are out there. It's very interesting to me because I feel that people feel paralyzed in this process. So when they come to visit you, are you going to give them all these options and lay it out for them and give them what their choices are?
Absolutely. What I do is listen to what their circumstances are, any kind of medical issues, anything that they need and that, and go through it and see what their options are. I'll give them a couple options to consider.
Very good. So if you're out there today and you know that a divorce is imminent and your insurance is going to be at jeopardy, it's time for you to consider what your options are. Some of these options might apply whether or not you have a divorce or not. So Anna is here. She can give that service. Again, we appreciate all that you've done for our clients over the years, and thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you. Happy to help. Thank you.